Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be another secret origin of video. And as you saw by the title and the thumbnail, this video is going to be covering the secret origin of Nina Cortex. So, a lot of people wonder, is Nina Cortex's niece or daughter? It's always been debated since Crash Twinsanity. The reason for such, if you haven't played the game, is this cutscene. I'm going to play it for you right now.
My daughter, niece! We must do something! Think, Cortex, think!
So because of that, we've never known if Nina is actually Cortex's daughter or Cortex's niece. What if I were to tell you that we've already seen Nina Cortex's father in the series, but no one picked up on it? It just went under the rug. Nobody noticed. Okay. Buckle in, because I'm going to explain to you where he is and how you missed him. Right off the bat, Cortex is yellow with black hair, and Nina has always been depicted as white or light blue with blue eyes and either black or blue hair. So skin color wise and eye color wise, she doesn't match up with Cortex at all. And I'm actually going to show you all of the Cortexes that we know of. So we're going to start with Cortex's grandparents. I apologize for the low quality of this picture, but this is the only picture I was able to get. I had to take a screen cap of an emulation of the Crash Bandicoot Mutant Island game. There's portraits in one of the levels that depict what appear to be Cortex's grandmother and Cortex's grandfather. Just like Cortex, they both have the yellow skin. So those were never stated to be Cortex's grandparents. It's just heavily implied because they're elderly looking and they look similar to Cortex, especially his grandpa. He has the same head shape and everything. So that's Cortex's grandparents. Now let's move on to Cortex's parents. So in Crash Bandicoot 4, there are portraits of these two characters, both of whom have yellow skin, and one has an M on her head, and I say father, I'm jumping the gun, and the male character has a D on his armor. So M for mom, D for dad. But if people don't agree with this and think I'm reaching, allow me to give you the evidence why I know without a shadow of a doubt that this is Cortex's mother and Cortex's father. James Loy Martin is an artist who worked on Crash Bandicoot 4, and if you go to his page on the internet, his artist page, it says some of the wall paintings, Mom and Dad Cortex, although there's a huge gap in time. I don't know what although there's a huge gap in time means, like perhaps the father is way older than the mother, or he drew the father picture and then there was a big gap in time and he drew the mother picture. I'm not sure. But the fact that he has a picture of the dad and the mom and it says Mom and Dad Cortex, the D and the M are mom and dad. So these are confirmed to be Cortex's parents. And there was one more portrait in the game that you just saw on that art page, but we're going to jump into it now. Baby Cortex. This is the youngest we've seen him. He's holding up a potion with crossbones on it and skull smoke coming out of it. So clearly that can't be a good potion. So, Baby Cortex. Youngest we've ever seen him. Now we're going to move on to Cortex as he ages up in the series. I say age up, but technically this was an age down. This was Cortex as he was reverted back into a baby in the 100% or 101% ending of Crash Bandicoot Warped. So his age isn't given here, but clearly he's older than the other picture that we just saw. And then here's Cortex again as an 8-year-old, as depicted in the flashback cutscene in Crash Twinsanity when he was doing the experiment on the evil twins. So him as an 8-year-old. And then the next image I'm going to show is game art opposed to a 3D model. And here Cortex is again as an 8-year-old with his parrots, Victor and Moritz. And once again, Cortex as an 8-year-old with Victor and Moritz, as seen in Nina's Nightmare on Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. So that's all of the young Cortexes we've seen. So is there something you notice that stands out? One of these is different than the others? I'll let you look for a second. Did you see it? Do you notice? Every single depiction of Cortex as a child has a lowercase n, except for the picture that we see in Crash 4. He has an uppercase N. I understand that when Cortex is an adult, he has an uppercase N. But every single time we see him as a child, he has a lowercase n. And then from whenever a point in time after he was 8 years old to current Cortex, it becomes an uppercase N. Future Tom here. I'm going to explain to you how it's possible for him to go from a lowercase n from his childhood to an uppercase n. So here we have him as an 8-year-old with the n on his forehead, and I'm just going to do a quick little MS Paint edit to show you how you can easily turn this lowercase n into an uppercase n, so when he ages up he can change the n. And voila, lowercase n changed to an uppercase n. You can go from lower to upper, but not upper to lower. And now back to the video. But this is the youngest we've seen Cortex, and it is an uppercase n. That doesn't make sense. Chronologically, it would have to be lowercase because this takes place first. So you know what I think? I think this is Cortex's twin brother, and that Mama Cortex and Daddy Cortex decided to give one of the twins a lowercase n and one of the twins an uppercase n so they'd be able to tell them apart. And coincidentally, it never states that this picture is of child Neo Cortex. If you look back at the quote from the art page, some of the wall paintings, Mom and Dad Cortex. The baby Cortex is sitting right there on this page, and he doesn't say baby Neo Cortex. So, right now, what I truly believe is that this is Nina Cortex's father as a baby. So we still don't know who Nina Cortex's mother is, but we know, at least if you believe my headcanon right now, who Nina Cortex's father is. Okay, so there's a couple things that I'd like to talk about to help us try and figure out who her mother is. If we look at Nina's father as a child, he appears to have reddish-brown eyes. And if we look at Cortex's eye color, generally it's always depicted as black. But when we see color in his eyes, it matches his brother's eye color as a child. He has a reddish-brown eye color. If we look at Nina's eye colors, in every console release, it is blue, except for in Crash Twinsanity when it's depicted as black. So we have black here, then we have blue in Crash Tag Team Racing, we have blue in Crash of the Titans, blue in Crash Mind Over Mutant, and in Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. The only issue with this eye theory is, in the mobile game Crash on the Run, Nina is depicted as having yellow-brown eyes, but I believe they did that intentionally because they wanted to have the variants have different eye colors to match their variant. So we'd have the Oxide with purple eyes, the Inferno with red eyes, and I thought the Frosty would have blue eyes, but it just appears to have black eyes. In the game art, it's yellow, but in-game it's black. So I think that they did this intentionally and gave her a different eye color from her variants so they would stand out more. So for the most part, I believe that her eye color is blue, and it stands true from everything that we've seen in the series. So, with the eye color of Dr. Cortex being brown, and Nina's eyes being blue, blue is recessive. So the fact that Cortex has brown eyes and she has blue eyes means that her mother has to have blue eyes. Her mother cannot have brown eyes. So Nina's mother will have to be a blue-eyed, blue-skinned female in order for this to pan out correctly. But anyway, that's the entire theory. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I don't know what Nina's father's name is, but at least we know what he looks like as a baby now. So half of the mystery has been solved. I guess the reason Cortex called her my daughter was because maybe her father abandoned her and he sort of raised her before sending her away to school. So maybe that's why he said my daughter, niece. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.